so you are the president and CEO of SSBC USA. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So I guess to start off with, maybe can we talk a little bit about maybe the history of Stainless Steel Brakes Corporation, kind of like the legacy company, just kind of who they were, what you guys did, that sort of thing. Do you mind sharing that?
Absolutely. SSBC was originally started in the mid-'70s. It was started by a guy named George Jonas, who was a GM engineer. And he moved to Western New York and was actually an engineer for another company, but he had Corvettes. So he went out one spring and pushed the brake pedal down on his Corvette, and the caliper had seized in the piston. So he decided to invent a sleeve technology that would go in, a stainless steel sleeve, thus the name stainless steel brake, that would go in between the piston and the caliper and prevent the seasonal type cars. We live in Western New York, so you don't see a lot of Corvettes out on the road in January and February.
Yeah.
So he invented this technology that would allow you to sleeve standard calipers. And then he started expanding the business into drum-to-disc conversion kits for classic cars. Our number one selling kit every year is for 64.5 to 67 Mustangs. It's still to this day our number one selling kit. So
okay.
Drum-to-disc conversion kits, including the hydraulics, everything, mounting brakes, all turnkey type stuff. And the business grew successfully until probably 2005, 2006. At that point, it started to just not focus enough on where it should be. And then after a steady decline all the way up to 2018, then the business finally was shuttered in June of 2018. George sold the business to his son, and his son ran the business for about 20 years, but they were unable to overcome some of the debt issues, and the business was liquidated in November of 19. Assets, I'm sorry, were liquidated in November of 19, of which three partners obtained the assets, the equipment, the inventory, and the intellectual property, including the brand, and moved it to about 10, 15 miles away from where it was in Clarence, New York. Now we're in Elma, New York, and started a brand new company called SSBC USA.
Got it.
Our customers, our big distributor customers, really urged us to keep the name SSBC as part of the new company because they felt that the brand, based on performance and quality, was great. So we incorporated that in there, used the same part numbers just to keep the marketplace from getting confused, and we started this business I think we made our first calipers in January of 2020.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so you guys were kind of relaunched in, I guess, the beginning of this year. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
just
great.
in time for the pandemic.
Yeah.
So.
yeah. So from a operational perspective, so you guys are fully operational, up running 100% right now.
Yep.
Got it. And then so what as far as the operation, like how many square feet do you have? I mean, are you guys manufacturing all your own products?
Our new facility is 18,000 square feet. And yes, we are manufacturing as much as we can. We manufacture all of our own aluminum calipers from American-made billet. We manufacture all of our cast iron and carbon steel brackets and adapters. We make our own pistons out of stainless. All that equipment was purchased in Dover early in January, and we are trying to stay as American-made as possible. Anything that we can make.
Yeah.
We're still looking for an American manufacturer or supplier of rotors because, unfortunately, we're still buying most of our rotors not from U.S. manufacturers.
Okay. Okay. If there's any rotor suppliers out there watching this, contact Tom.
Yes, please do. Our big thing is this is going to be an American-made brake company wherever possible.
Yeah.
Everything down to the prop valves and anything that we can make or can have made locally.
Yeah.
We want to educate the consumer on the fact that they're buying American. Yes, there are some price differences, but there's certain quality differences and patriotic differences that make it up in the long run. But we want to educate the consumer as to what they're buying, what is foreign supplied, and give them the option to buy American. they don't want to spend more money and they're happy with what I deem as inferior quality, then we may give them that option. But our choice is always going to be to go American.
Yeah. God, no, that's great. So who would you say is your ideal customer? Like who's your target customer right now?
Wow. Well, when we released the new products, when we started targeting new products, we were looking for people that owned American-made cars, American-made vehicles, cars and trucks, that are going to have them for a while and that believe in the quality that we offer with American-made products. So naturally, we gravitated to pickup trucks. So we released our B8 Barbarian line, for 3/4 ton trucks. And we are about to release our half-ton line called Brawler for all the 1500 series GMC and Chevy, the 1500 Dodge Rams, and the F-150 series trucks, the most popular vehicle.
Yeah.
We're also looking at people like Jeep. Jeep people love to spend money on their Wranglers and on their Grand Cherokees. So we're looking at people that are going to have their car for a while, understand that, yes, if you replace your OEM imported, we'll say, brakes with remanufactured imported brakes, then you probably aren't going to get a lot of life out of that. Versus spending a little bit more, buying American made and running these things for 2 to 3 times the life cycle of the replacement OEMs. We just replaced the original set of Barbarians that we put on our engineering manager's F-250. We're going to be releasing a video about this. The truck has 63,000 miles on it, half of which were with a 16,000-pound fifth wheel, because he's some kind of motocross crazy guy that drives all over the country and does motocross. And the calipers were beautiful. The pads were worn down almost to the metal backing strip, nice and uniformly, and the rotors were fine. That's after 60,000 miles. And that's in Western New York, where sliding calipers, 2-piston sliding calipers, just don't slide much. You get salt and crap in there over the winter, and they just hang up. So our survey locally said that most people on remanufactured calipers get maybe 21 to 25,000 miles before they have to replace the calipers again. Wow. We're sitting at 63,000 miles, and all we're going to do is replace the pads and the rotors.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's great. So from a friction perspective, do you guys supply pads as well, or is it mainly just the foundation brake components?
No, we make the entire system, because it's important that the pads and the rotors are matched with the caliper. We actually build the caliper and design the caliper around the pad. We select the pad first for optimal stopping.
Got it.
And then we build the caliper around that pad. We build the caliper around that pad to make sure we're getting forces and even distributions, heat reduction, everything else from that pad. But the pad is the foundation of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, best calipers in the world. If you have crappy pads, you're still not going to stop.
Correct. Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, like the Ford Mustang. It's some of your most popular products, I guess, for that. But it sounds like the trucks, though, too. The pickup trucks components are another popular product you guys offer, or kits you guys offer.
The foundation of SSBC USA is going to remain the drum-to-disc conversion kits for muscle cars, classic cars. That'll be the bread and butter. But the growth and the difference between this company and the old company, amongst many, many other things, is going to be the new product development and what markets we will go after. Yeah. We're just getting tons of requests for upgrades to vehicles that are high production, like Grand Cherokees. People love their Jeeps. They spend a little extra for 20-inch wheels. They look great. And I drive one. I've got 25,000 miles on it. My calipers are shot. It looks like junk on my beautiful Jeep. So people are calling us, asking us to develop some stuff that's more everyday driver type stuff. So we may do that. That's probably the next on our docket for new product development.
So who's your direct competitors? Like, who are you guys competing against in that market space right now?
Well, in the drum-to-disc conversion kits, there's a lot of people that have kind of popped up based on the old SSBC premise of providing the bracketry and everything else. but they don't use American-made calipers. That's all. So, for our A120-20 kit, our Mustang kit, we get the forging, we get the castings out of North Carolina, we machine them here. And we e-coat them. Other people substitute that with imported zinc-plated calipers that are definitely of lesser quality. So there's been a number of people that have popped up in that market space, and unfortunately, they've kind of taken the cost pricing down to who can provide the lowest cost. We've stayed right where we are, giving people the option again for higher quality and American made. On the truck and Jeep side, competitors would be Millwood, Bear, some Brembo every now and then. They've gone real high end with custom rotors and custom pads. We've gone at it a little bit differently. We use the same configuration as stock rotors. We make some modifications to the surfaces to enhance them. And we use stock sized brake pads formulated specifically for us. So for instance, if you were out and about with your F-250 and you had an accident or something and you needed a rotor or a pad, you could actually go to Napa and buy a rotor and a pad that work to get you home or to give you some extended life till you match back up your system. We don't believe in going after the market with custom rotors or two-piece rotors that are expensive and very expensive to replace after 20 or 30,000. So
yeah. So where do they buy? Can the consumer buy your brake kits directly from you all, or do you guys have kind of a large distribution network?
We do both, actually. We have a beautiful web store at ssbc-usa.com. Some people prefer to buy from the manufacturer, but the majority of our sales are through distributors such as Summit, Jegs, and National Parts Depot.
Yeah.
We're going to limit a little bit of what we do distribution-wise. Part of the downfall of the old company is they tried to be everything to everybody. Limited who we're going to sell through with distribution, and Summit and Jegs have been great to us. They helped us start the new business, restarted based on the premise of the old part numbers. They've been awesome to us, and use Keystone to service a lot of the jobber markets. Those three distributors have been our backbone in reestablishing the brand. They've helped us quite a bit.
Yeah. So let's talk about the customer again. So, SSBC had, kind of a niche market, had a lot of great customers or, repeat customers. So what's been the reaction to the customer now that you guys are kind of, I guess, relaunched or reestablished?
95% positive. People loved a lot of the problems that the old company had never made it to the end user. They loved the product. They liked the innovation. They liked the look. They loved the performance, especially. The problems were a lot in customer service and fulfillment. So that's the other 5%. And those people were a little skeptical at first, thinking, oh, this is the same company with a slightly different brand name and slightly this. And we've had to convince some people through performance that we are different. It is a completely different company. And all we did was, if we wouldn't have brought over the SSBC brand, then people probably would have disassociated the quality of the old product. But they, on the benefit side, they would have said, "Oh, it's definitely a new company." But the brand is iconic, and we wanted to bring that over and then convince people through hard work and performance that this is absolutely a different company. We did not bring anybody over that was customer service based. We brought only people that used to be there that are here are the shop guys, which were just performing unbelievably, and we saved a lot of those jobs. We brought in a veteran of the industry, Ray Gorman. He was a longtime salesman for SSBC back in the day, and then took a little hiatus, went to another company, and he's a Western New York guy, and he's very happy to hear that we had come back. So he's our sales and marketing manager, and he's handling all of our distribution and direct sales.
Great. No, that's great. So I guess before we go, just I guess one last thing to talk about is, all right, so I know obviously you guys are still fairly early right now. You launched early this year, still growing, still doing a lot of things. But where do you is it too early to ask, like, where you see yourself evolving 5 years from now? Like, what's kind of your vision for SSBC USA? I mean, you think, kind of where you are right now is your bread and butter, where you're going to kind of stay, or do you see other opportunities?
Oh no, we absolutely want to move on opportunities. Again, we will continue our baseline of drum to disc conversion kits, front and rear, and innovation on the pickup truck side. We're going to round out some of our lines. I mean, right now I think there's opportunity for the best of both worlds. We love trucks and we love drum to disc conversion kits. We think the F100 and C10 conversion markets are underserved, and we don't have a completed product line. I want to be able to say, we've got an F100 or even an F150, we've got a brake kit. And C10s they're just roaring right now, and people aren't happy with the conversion kits of the upgrade kits that they're buying. So we want to round out our line with that. But we also want to be innovators. We've developed an R&D process that 3 weeks after we say go, we will have a prototype on a car. We have the capability to do this. Within a week, it'll be designed. The next week will be plastic printed and on a vehicle to make sure we fit inside the wheel and around all the other obstacles that we see underneath the car. And then on the third week, we'll machine it. It'll be on a truck or car testing at a beautiful facility with a nice long runway that we can do extended testing on. We've got a lot of static and dynamic testing capability in-house, but nothing putting it on a vehicle, going out there and crap on it. So we want to be able to innovate. We've got people clamoring for, some specialty markets, Volkswagen Trucks, for instance, and some other things. But we really want to look at the underserved markets, like Jeep is an underserved market for Wrangler and Cherokee. Some of the high performance mid 90s and early 2000s vehicles are underserved. So if there's a need, we're not going after 900,000 sets a year for one vehicle. We're going after the people that put value in their cars and are going to hold them for a while.
Yeah. Got it. Good. Well, outstanding. Well, Tom, I appreciate you joining me today. This has been fun. Maybe we'll do this again down the road again and then do a catch-up session as well.
Yeah, this is nothing but runway for this new business. Again, people are so glad that everybody's been great. Check our Facebook page and our Instagram. 99.9% of the people are so glad that the brand is back and have reached out to us with sometimes some impossible tasks. We had a SEMA builder ask us if we made 2020 GMC 3/4 ton trucks. We checked and the Barbarian didn't fit those, but we said, if you want one, we'll have one for you in 3 weeks. And he said, yep, and placed his order, and we had him brand new, completely redesigned calipers for his show truck for SEMA. Fortunately, he didn't get to show at SEMA. But that's the way we want to be. It's completely responsive. Away with all of the bad talk of the old business. We're really not interested in going backwards. There's nothing but runway for this company. We've got the right setup, and we're ready to go.
That's great. Good. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing how things continue to progress with you guys.